This story shook me to the core. If you're a parent, especially of little girls like me, or ever plan to be a parent, you gotta hear this. Natalie Kramer was 15 years old. She had a loving family at home, but she was a troubled student. She was kind of going through the ringer. She was her dad's whole world, and he always worked hard to build their relationship together. He ended up inviting her to a Dallas Mavericks basketball game. She loved the idea and was stoked to go to the game with her dad. She knew there was gonna be some teenage boys there, so she ripped through her closet in her dresser and picked out the perfect outfit. Then on April 8th, 2022, her and her dad jumped in the truck and headed towards the stadium. Once they got there, her dad started to panic a little bit because he realized how massive this stadium was and how many people were around. And as a dad of teenage girls myself, you always know when a little boy is eyeing your girl. They got their tickets ready, checked in, and found their way to their seats. Now, they didn't have the best seats in the world, so they had a long walk and a bunch of stairs to climb. Right around the end of the first quarter, she turned to her dad and said, "Dad, I gotta use the bathroom. I know where it is, don't worry." Obviously, his spidey sense went up. He was a little intimidated, but he trusted his daughter, and she went off. But unbeknownst to her dad, Natalie had an ulterior motive. She was actually looking to check out some boys, take a break, and find somebody with a vape. As she was walking towards the bathroom, she saw a guy leaning up against the wall that seemed like a really nice guy. He hit on her a little bit, it seemed to be going great, and he actually pulled out his vape and said, "You want some?" Now, Natalie, being a 15-year-old girl and an ignorant teenager, she trusted this guy, and he said, "Hey, let's go out to my van, I got a lot more out there." She ended up following him out to the parking lot, and they did some things in the van. Minutes later, Natalie was a little dazed and confused, and he said, "Hey, let's go back to my place, it's no big deal, I'll drop you off in time, your dad won't even notice," and she agreed. But Natalie never returned to the stadium. Her dad began to panic, and he was running through the stadium looking for his daughter, asking everybody. He went to the authorities, he went to random people, he asked everyone. He talked to the stadium security team and the Dallas PD and gave them pictures, and they were all on the lookout for her. Her dad searched and searched until he reached the point of exhaustion and had to return home to North Richmond Hills, Texas. Days went by, and Natalie's mom began to get really freaked out. She couldn't trust the police departments because they were all disorganized, so she went ahead and found herself a private investigator. The PI actually had more tools at his fingertips, and he got in touch with the Texas Anti-Trafficking Network, and they got digging. Using facial recognition software and the camera footage from within the stadium, they located Natalie and the kid that was leaning up against the wall. They actually got footage of them leaving the stadium. The private investigator was on a mission, and he ended up using the picture that her parents had given him, and he searched all of the child trafficking websites. He was essentially masking himself as a customer, and he ended up locating Natalie's photo. He ended up finding multiple advertisements to do things with Natalie. It even revealed her age and the things and options that these guys had. They ended up tracing the location back to Oklahoma City, and they had their sights set. Using mobile tracing techniques, the police stormed an apartment building in Oklahoma City and located Natalie along with a bunch of other teenage kids. When they found Natalie, they noticed that she was totally out of her mind from the substances she'd been given. Natalie was taken advantage of for 10 to 11 days by these child traffickers and their customers. Now she's 18 and safe at home.